Welcome, everybody. This is the Legsit Founders Series. I'm Will Pangman, and today we have Hartej Sawhny from the Hosho Group. Hosho Group is the foremost security auditing firm in the crypto and blockchain space, in my opinion. They do fantastic work for penetration testing and security audits of smart contracts, among other things. So Hartej was also formerly a CEO of a startup called Zuldi, which was innovating on the point of sale terminals and payment processing, having to do with, I believe, food ordering. And Hartej, maybe you can tell us a bit more about the Zuldi story, but first introduce yourself and Hosho, and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Will. My name is Hartej Sawhny. I'm based in Las Vegas, and I've been a full-time entrepreneur, hustling and starting and building companies for the last 6 years of my life. I've been traveling all over the world and speaking at a lot of conferences. Yeah, my previous company was Zuldi.com, Z-U-L-D-I. Zuldi, the word, it means faster in my mother tongue, Punjabi. And I definitely have a knack for finding words in other languages that can be said in English that are 2 syllables. So both of my companies that I've co-founded, Zuldi is 2 syllables. It means faster in Punjabi. And my current one, Hosho, it means security in Japanese. It's 2 syllables, and that's how I roll. And my previous company was Zuldi.com, and we wanted to revolutionize the point of sale space specifically for food and beverage, targeting the highest volume food and beverage merchants in the world. And we re-engineered the world's most commonly found point of sale system. It's called Micros. And Micros was acquired by Oracle for $5.3 billion. So we started with the one POS system that the majority of the world's biggest restaurants have. It's the Micros 3700. And we re-engineered that Micros to run on any tablet. So whether it's an Android tablet or an iPad tablet of any size, small or really big, it completely re-engineered it so that it could run with the exact same user experience and user design. So there's 0 learning curve for a server, and extending and mirroring that POS onto an unlimited number of tablets. So it allows a restaurant to extend their POS to creating a new bar in the back when the season is right. So season goes right, it's warmer outside, you're in the back of a bar in Dallas that's doing $1 million a month in just beer sales. But they want to open up a new bar. Does that mean that they buy a new point of sale system? Probably not, because each legacy POS system costs $10,000 to $15,000 per terminal. And what happened was about 1.5 years, 2 years ago in the United States, EMV chip credit cards came out. And all of these old school point of sale systems lack the ability to accept chip credit cards. So we had a 2-part business. One was, let's extend the POS system to an unlimited number of tablets. And the second was, let's make sure that our tablets can take chip credit cards and insert the chip into a chip reader and accept a swipe credit card and accept NFC payments and eventually crypto payments. And so today in Las Vegas, some of the biggest properties in Las Vegas are using our system. And that's what actually relocated me from New York City out to Las Vegas. And I'm still here as a home base, at least. And I decided to step down as CEO of that company about 7-8 months ago now, mainly because the cryptocurrency industry has been moving at a rapid pace. And I have already been involved. Had been advising companies and a cryptocurrency hedge fund here in Las Vegas. And I figured this is the time to make a switch. And within the blockchain ecosystem, we found a way, and by we, it's my co-founder, Yo Kwan, and I, we found a way that we look at it as selling shovels to the blockchain industry. That since the blockchain industry is so new and we felt like a lot of dust in the industry has to be settled, that what we found as being the #1 concern that we had with space, which was security. And that as smart contracts get written more and more by larger and larger companies, we already have publicly traded companies writing smart contracts. And some of these smart contracts are being written for token generation events, and some of them are being written for as functional smart contracts where the entire business is on a smart contract. these smart contracts cut out middlemen and they're built on decentralized blockchains, someone needs to be doing a security audit, a technical audit of each smart contract. And we decided that it's really important for us to establish ourselves as the global leaders in all things blockchain security. So we started with smart contract auditing, and we moved on into penetration testing of websites and exchanges. And then we expanded into hosting bug bounties. Cryptocurrency exchanges will no longer list a token unless the smart contract has been audited. Stuff has gone through a penetration test of the exchange. And yeah, I mean, it's been quite a journey. We're going in between Zaldi to Hosho and going full time into the cryptocurrency industry. I'm now advising 4 companies, including Lexit, BlitzPredict, Crowd Machine, and Crypto with a K. They're probably changing their name, but they're basically Acorn for crypto. They're based out of the Maryland area. They're launching mainly in India, and they made an app where you can tie it to your debit or credit card, and the change from your purchases goes directly into the buying of a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, Litecoin, or Ethereum. And
I love that.
My little cousin, Jasraj Singh, is the one. He's a CEO and co-founder of that in DC. So he's my little cousin, and I got him into crypto when he was my intern for Zaldi.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love the, I recall there was a product called lawnmower.io a few years ago.
They were too early for their time.
They were. I loved it. I used it all. I used it from day one until they pivoted away from the, taking your change and using Coinbase to buy Bitcoin. So this is a great product. This is cool. And you said, you made this big jump from kind of a mainline technology startup to this new Wild West crypto startup, and you're selling picks and shovels at Hosho, trying to harden up this industry and implement some high standards for security, which is much needed. And of course, it's brought you quickly to advise a number of projects because, the folks will get to know you out in the industry, as I do. Your talents speak for themselves. Your company and your team's talents speak for themselves. I've certainly been a beneficiary of the work of Hosho Group in the past. So, with one of the projects you're advising here, Lexit, they're trying to innovate in the merger and acquisition space, and your partner has had a number of these, and you've seen this merger and acquisitions activity around your life as an entrepreneur as well. Can you talk about what kind of the challenges are for a young entrepreneur as they start a business and approach their exit? What are the biggest surprises they encounter?
So I'll start with, traditionally in the technology industry, the life cycle has been that companies develop a product, ideally at least in-house, to start cranking out about $10,000 a month of revenue, maybe $20,000 a month of revenue. They go raise their early stage, seed stage or pre-seed stage round of funding from angels and VCs and family friends to give away 20% of their business and get their first $1 million ideally. And in the early stage VC game, there's not a lot of data on the company. You don't know, is this company really going to win or not? You're investing in the founders, you're investing in the individual. And you're hoping that this individual will figure it out and that they're going to stick through it, and they're probably going to have to go raise more consequent rounds of funding. And basically it's that oftentimes companies are forced into the process of going through a merger and acquisition, mainly because of the fact that they've run out of money, and the VCs are not willing to pump more money into that company. So definitely one scenario that we're seeing in the world for all technology companies is game over. You've run out of money. Your business is not generating enough revenue for you to convince more investors to pump more money into your business. So now it's time to look for an acquisition, which will most likely look like a stock swap. And maybe you have built technology in-house that actually is worth something to a larger company, but not very much money, possibly just stock in their company, for them to acquire mainly your talent. So you're probably going to be hired for the talent at your company. And then the second most valuable thing is possibly some code that you've written. Maybe it's some APIs, maybe it's some tooling, maybe you have some piece of IP that actually is valuable. And it needs to be made easier for larger companies to be able to acquire or acquire the IP of those companies. And another thing that comes to mind is actually the risk that entrepreneurs face when being acquired, especially for just stock. You might be acquired by a company for just stock, and it seems like the other company is going great, and so you're also going to be in great shape because their stock is obviously going to go up. But I've seen personal cases with personal friends several times that post-acquisition, doing a stock swap, the other company completely tumbles, crashes, and burns, and you're left with nothing. Yeah, that's what comes to mind off the bat.
Those are some disconcerting risks and challenges. We've had other people on the series, Trevor Kaverko and Jaron, sharing some other perils in this process of exiting a company, startup, or any kind of size business. And it's a supreme challenge. So what Legzit's seeking to do is to streamline this process for people, both sides of the marketplace, including actually all sides of the marketplace, because there's assessors and evaluators in this process as well, who validate these potential deals. So I guess, can you imagine how would the world be different if, like you mentioned, if IP and code snippets and things like this, pivoted projects, could be more easily traded in a more efficient manner? How does that change this M&A landscape?
It reduces the work of expensive lawyers on both sides of the party, that's for sure. So both sides, both the company being acquired and the acquirer, both have to spend a significant amount of money on lawyers. And I believe platforms like Lexit will mitigate a significant amount of expenses on both sides.
Yeah, and I know there are claims that Legzit's making that they think they can shorten the process. Of course, the workload and the speed, they can streamline that by an order of magnitude. So that would certainly be a huge improvement in what we see in the space, and perhaps means more deals get done. I'm not sure if there are any metrics out there about, the M&As that fall through because of all kinds of things that change over such a long period of time. I think the average time period for an M&A to go to completion is 12 to 18 months, or maybe it's longer than 18 months actually. So it just seems that this is a really profound difference maker, and that could be, coming online pretty soon here. And I guess, you see smart contracts all the time. You see token projects all the time, every single day. You guys are evaluating second and third opinions on smart contracts and things like that. What do you think is the role of blockchain in all of this? What Legzit can play with tokenization of things like IP, and possibly working with, like a polymath, because IP would probably be a security, and things like this if it's tokenized. So what do you see as the role of blockchain in all this, and how does Legzit make such a difference?
The biggest thing that stands out to me is that this Lexit platform brings transparency to a very complicated process of M&A. And it actually opens up the doors for the first time to the sale of IP that may actually go discarded. That's what comes to my mind.
It's enticing to me when a venture capitalist can talk to someone like Lexit about the selling of IP from companies that have already, quote unquote, failed. And Lexit solves a massive problem there. Obviously, it solves a massive problem for anybody trying to sell IP, but that seems like something that is extremely intriguing to every single VC in Silicon Valley. For him to go to have Amir and the team from Lexit go through the portfolios of the likes of Google Ventures and Andreessen Horowitz and Coastal Ventures, for them to go through them and say, oh, well, we found a way for you to monetize what you thought was already a fail, that's very intriguing to me.
Yeah, and you mentioned how and how enticing it would be to look at Legsit from a venture capitalist point of view. And I do believe there are some interesting partnerships in store for Legsit that they're very eager to announce, although keeping that kind of close to the vest at the moment, with some very interesting, very well-known outfits like that, incubators and the like. So this is certainly attractive to groups like that. And I think we all are anticipating a lot for Legsit when it hits the marketplace, which I believe is later this year. They want to launch in Q2 of this year. So any final thoughts on your advising role for Legsit, Hartej, and then we can part ways.
No major final thoughts other than, if anybody's watching this and they're looking for a quality project and they're a sophisticated investor or plan on being one, my only advice is make sure that every project that you are investing in within the blockchain space, if they wrote a smart contract, that the smart contract has gone through multiple audits and that you've actually seen the audit report, and whatever exchange that you are trading on or the tokens that you have invested in or trading on, that those exchanges have also gone through a penetration test. And you can look for the Hosho logo. The Hosho emblem is going to be on the front page of every exchange that we conduct a penetration test on. So look for that for any exchanges that you trade on, and make sure everything has been audited, and keep an eye out for the Legsit launch. I believe they're going to be doing an airdrop, and it's going to be a very exciting project that's going to be released, and it's going to be one of the few ones that actually has real technology built behind it with real users and real revenue. And it'll be really exciting to have a tokenized project that has real life implementation being used by users every single day.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you very much, Hartej, for joining us.
Thank you.
This has been the Legsit Founder Series interview with Hartej Sawhny of Hosho Group. And we'll see you around, Hartej. It's been great talking to you again.
Thank you so much, Will. You can find me anywhere online at Hartej, Hartej. See you soon. Thank you, Will.